Good morning, all. In the previous class, we have discussed about the general characters of algae and its classification, and we stopped that class by discussing about the life cycle of algae. There are 5 types of life cycle: haplontic, diplontic, diplohaplontic, haplobiontic, and diplobiontic life cycle of algae, of which we have already discussed about the haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and diplohaplontic life cycle. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about the triphasic life cycle of algae, which are of 2 types, that is haplobiontic life cycle and diplobiontic life cycle. The first one, haplobiontic life cycle, which is seen commonly in Mammalion and Batrachospermum, in which the diploid phase is generally followed by 2 dissimilar haploid generations. Okay. So, as the name insists to itself, the life cycle is haplobiontic, that is, the dominant phase is represented by a haploid and multicellular gametophytic plant, and since it is a haploid gametophytic plant, it produced gametes, that is, male gamete of N chromosome number and female gamete of N chromosome number, both of them fuse to produce a diploid zygote. But this diploid zygote represents the only diploid life cycle phase in the life cycle, and immediately its nucleus undergo meiosis without further delay, and the zygote containing the haploid nuclei, which do not produce spores, zoospores or zygospores, what it do is it immediately undergo mitosis and undergo proliferation to produce a small haploid independent individual known as carposporophyte. Okay, so you have to familiar with this term, the carposporophyte. In haplobiontic life cycle, the carposporophyte is a haploid small individual plant, but it remains attached to the haploid gametophyte. So 2 haploid plants. Okay, and at the tip of the carposporophyte produced carposporangia, in which haploid carpospores are formed, and these spores liberate and germinate on soil to produce, undergo repeated mitotic division to produce new haploid gametophytic plant. Okay, so there are 3 stages of the life cycle: an original haploid gametophytic plant which produce 2 gametes, male and female, and they undergo fusion to produce zygote, which is the only diploid stage of life cycle, but the zygote immediately undergo meiosis to produce a carposporophyte, which is a haploid small individual remain attached to the gametophyte. The carposporophyte produced carposporangium, and the carposporangium produced haploid carpospores. The carpospore liberates from the plant body and they germinate in a substratum to form a haploid gametophyte. Okay, so this is haplobiontic, and next one, which is diplobiontic life cycle, which is otherwise known as polysiphonic life cycle, because it is very common in the algae Polysiponia. So what happens in diplobiontic? Here also the original plant body is a haploid multicellular gametophyte. So it produced haploid gametes by gametogenic mitosis, and the gamete fuse in pairs to form a diploid zygote. Okay. So till this stage, both diplobiontic and haplobiontic life cycle are similar. But from this onwards, what happens to the zygote is, since the zygote is diploid, the zygote undergoes mitosis. Okay. So in haplobiontic, what happened is the zygote undergo meiosis to produce carposporophyte, but here the zygote undergo mitosis to form a branched filamentous carposporophyte. But this carposporophyte, again, as you see in haplobiontic, it remains attached to the gametophyte. Okay, so a haploid and a diploid plant, and this carposporophyte produced carposporangium, and the carposporangium produced carpospore by sporogenic mitosis. Okay, then the carpospore liberates from the gametophytic plant body, and it germinates in a suitable substratum to produce another diploid. We have to be very careful. The carpospores are diploid, so it germinates to produce a diploid plant, it is known as tetrasporophyte. And why it is known as tetrasporophyte? It immediately undergo meiosis. Tetrasporophyte produce tetrasporangium, and in tetrasporangium, the tetrasporangial mother cell undergo meiosis, reduction division, to produce tetraspores. You know that the product of meiosis is 4 spore cells. Okay, so tetraspores which are arranged in a tetrahedral pattern. And the tetraspore liberates and they germinate to produce haploid gametophyte. Okay, so this is the difference between diplobiontic and haplobiontic. In haplobiontic also there is a haploid gametophyte, but zygote is the only diploid phase. The zygote soon undergo meiosis to produce the carposporophyte. But in diplobiontic, you have clearly seen 3 phases of life cycle: a haploid gametophyte, a diploid carposporophyte, and a diploid tetrasporophyte. Tetrasporophyte undergo meiosis to produce haploid spores, and the haploid spores germinate to produce haploid gametophyte. Okay, so hope you understand the triphasic life cycle of algae. In Polycyphonia, we will be discussed, or you will learn in detail when you study the type Polycyphonia. So go through the slides, clear your doubts, and ask any doubts in the coming classes. Thank you.